Good morning, everybody. I welcome the August gathering for the ELT Summit 2020. I'm Dr. KGB Santosh Kumari, working as Associate Professor in Vignan, and today I'm going to talk a few lines, or I'm going to throw light on the opinion of mine related to digital teaching on ultimate choice for remote learning during lockdown period COVID-19. So here, whenever you're talking about digital teaching, everybody feels that there is a lot of switch from the face-to-face learning to the virtual learning during this pandemic period. And whenever you're talking about this pandemic situation, majority of the students they are very confined to their technology, especially whatever gadgets they have, maybe Android or it may be laptops or any other devices like tabs and all that, and they have been working on the respective gadgets in such a convenient way that they can enjoy the pandemic also while learning. But the problem is to the teachers, especially the 21st century teachers have to be equipped with the technology which they're not so much acquainted with. So whenever you're talking about face-to-face learning, so here the face-to-face learning which takes, even we have a lot of things related to making a lesson plan and adjusting yourself to the related students and concentrating more on the weaker students or slow learners. At the same time, we can work on giving good or support to the brilliant or merit students, at the same time concentrating on the academics as well as co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So all these things, there is a scope when you have a face-to-face learning, whereas when you go for a digital learning or virtual learning, uh, maybe the gap may be a little bit more. So mostly what happens is the intimacy between a teacher and a learner will be only superficial. So but actually the it's something like a teacher's role is more than a mentor. So it's not only a teacher, it's more than a teacher. So that might, before going to start my presentation, I'd like to stress that that small element of mentoring might be missing in the online learning. Now, when you divide the learning into various categories, especially teaching methodologies into various categories, you could see three different methodologies which are nowadays informed. So the first thing is face-to-face learning, which we all have been experiencing from so long, from so many decades. And second thing is flipped classrooms, where, because these three I'd like to highlight under my presentation, where it's something like role reversal. And the third important thing is blended learning, where you find a combination of face-to-face learning and technical learning or maybe virtual learning. So you could see this mix of face-to-face and online, or you can say offline and online learning in blended learning. Now, before pandemic, you could see the ratio of face-to-face maybe 100%, or maybe at times in certain organizations or reputed organizations, face-to-face maybe 60%, and the next level of flipped classroom maybe 30%, and blended might be 10%. With the help of all these learning management systems like LMS, Moodles, and all this kind of LMS, it's a kind of platform which is being arranged virtually between a learner and a teacher. Now, coming to this pandemic situation, of course nobody expected it, but coming to this pandemic situation, what happens is that face-to-face learning has completely come to zero, and no student is coming to teacher, or no teacher is going to student to teach. Now, when you are talking about virtual platform to almost 90%, whatever we are giving, we are offering the students, that we are offering only through online. So when this has come into the picture, then what happens is there are a couple of teachers, especially I'm from a language background, being an English teacher, what I feel is flipped classroom may be a given prior role. So what I did is, a previous day I used to give some topic to the student, and when I send my link or share my link on Zoom, I'll ask the student to tell something on the topic which he worked on the previous day, and I'll be facilitating that. So maybe I feel that it's a kind of flipped classroom which I can use it when it comes to online. And then blended learning, which is of course not possible, but at times you can have face to face, like through virtually you can have face to face, and we ask the student to work on at home and come back. When they come back, they can give their assignments or submit their assignments and all that, maybe oral assignments or written assignments. Why I said oral assignments means we have some kind of oral presentations in English, so they can present it. So in such a way, there are a couple of situations where blended learning also may take place, but it's hardly 5%, not more than that. So from 100% face-to-face learning, it's come to 0%, and 90% almost we have come to virtual learning. Now, what is the actual difference? How this change has come? See, nothing will come just like that. So as I mentioned, through virtual platforms 90%, and flipped 10% through online platforms, and blended here and there you could find it. Now the next important thing which I just want to highlight is the teaching pedagogies. So what is a platform? Generally we have classrooms, we have college or schools, wherever we go there we'll attend the sessions and we'll take the sessions. Now when it comes to virtual platforms, we can take, there are n number of sources which are available nowadays, and almost mushrooming in this pandemic season. So the first thing is, majority of the people, in spite of the various threatenings and all that, there are a couple of majority of the people are using Zoom, and then officially by taking license and all that, and then Google Meet, Cisco, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, and Google Suite is the best option. So in such a way, Google Classrooms, all these platforms plays a vital role. All these platforms play a vital or significant role in teaching online. And through these platforms, we can directly talk to the students, and even they can clarify their doubts by asking them, and then we can give assignments and we can upload the questions and ask the students to share the assignments, and by writing everything, by writing their name and all that, and take a pic of it and upload it into the mail. Google Drive plays a vital role in uploading the videos, audios and all that, and then the teacher will assess it. And thanks to Google, there is another concept which is assessment, which I come afterwards. So assignments and even projects students will do online, they will share with the faculty. And here there is a concept called summative and formative assessments. When I come to the formative assessments, just I like to highlight, summative assessment is nothing but through marks or grades you can assess the students, whereas formative assessment is quite important for teaching any student any subject. So formative assessment means you need to give the feedback to the student where the mistake has happened, or what are the areas the student needs to improve. So here the formative assessment plays a vital role in order to bring change in the attitude of the student, as well as in the way the student perform the task or activity. And then evaluation, and there are a number of sources, whereas Google Forms, through that you can keep the exam, and self-assessment can be done at the same time. The teachers can assess the marks or assign the marks, and based on the marks the student there are quizzes teachers can conduct, or directly the feedback also they can incorporate. So immediately after the student attempt the exam, they'll get the answers and all that after submitting, and they can see the marks immediately within fraction of seconds. Their mails, they receive all these marks and all that. So it's directly a student immediately after the exam they will receive the marks along with the feedback of what is the mistake, and there are a couple of small mishaps happens here and there, where the technical glitches is a crucial thing which plays a vital role. At the same time, sincerity of the student or honesty of the student may be doubted at times, so we don't know. So there are a couple of disadvantages for here anything. So all these other teaching pedagogies, at the same time platforms we use, and the assignments, projects, assessments and evaluation which keeps on going. So coming to the advantages, we can take n number of students at a stretch. In the sense, when it is licensed version of Zoom, you can accommodate many students, or if it is not licensed also, 100 students at a stretch you can accommodate, and then no place barrier. And thanks to this Google platform or Zoom platform, whatever, webinars or faculty development programs or student activities, there are many things which goes on which is related to knowledge upgradation or skill development. So when you're talking about skill improvement or skill improvisation programs, there are couple of universities or colleges, they invite esteemed people from various universities here or abroad, and they are given they share their knowledge with the faculty or maybe the students, which is a little bit difficult when it is a face-to-face platform, and a lot of logistics need to be taken care of and all that. But now it's quite comfortable sitting at their doorstep. They can share their knowledge, and sitting at our doorstep we can learn the knowledge. Or knowledge sharing has become one of the crucial things during this lockdown. And I think there are a couple of comic scenes which comes up, like in this 2 months you could come with a bunch of certificates or webinars and all that. It so happens because people are in dire need of learning virtual technical knowledge. Why I said virtual technical knowledge is through digital learning, people wants to acquire many skills and they want to exhibit that skills also in future, because we don't know how the pandemic situation goes on. And thanks to the government which offered the Coursera programs or maybe any online programs, like AICT is offering many online free courses for the students and faculty, and even UGC has come up. There is something like Udemy which courses are being offered. So in such a way, for knowledge enhancement, if you have the thirst for knowledge, you can quench through these platforms and through this online mediums. And then next thing is, the most important thing is, everybody is interested to share the knowledge and everybody is interested to learn it. So coming to the disadvantages, especially signal issues, network problems, lack of internet facilities, or at times there are a couple of people where only one Android phone may be at home, and everybody has to each and everyone they have to work on only that Android, which is a problem. If the timing is same, at one person can use at a time, they cannot use multiple usage. So here and stay in remote location where there is no access for internet and recharge and all that. And then the most important thing is, the monitoring will be a little bit difficult compared to face-to-face learning. And then there are a couple of cyber problems, like one person will log in through others name, or maybe a kind of some obscene things can be done through online, because nobody can trace out who is that unless it goes to the next higher authority, or cyber related issues. All these things are almost disadvantages. But when compared to disadvantages, if the advantages are more, obviously we'll consider the advantages. Now, digital learning is the ultimate choice during the lockdown period of COVID-19. And I'd like to conclude by saying that necessity is the mother of invention, which is again proved by the intervention of internet and mobile gadgets and other gadgets, which takes the teaching pedagogy to some other extent. And then teachers have become techno savvy nowadays, and they need to compete with 21st century kids, because they're born with gadgets. We have to learn many things to accommodate with, because when long back when we study, whatever teacher says we used to listen. But now when you say something, immediately the student, what he or she does is, they'll type in the Google and they'll identify whether you're saying right or wrong. So you should be very, very cautious when it is a techno-savvy situation, when you are dealing with techno-savvy children. So I feel there's a lot of change or transformation, to be frank, happened when you have switched from face-to-face learning to virtual learning. So thus I feel that in order to teach in the digital era, we should be equipped technologically, and one side it's a really a pandemic and hard situation, but other side it makes us learn many things. So use the time properly and utilize the time properly. So I feel this digital education, transformation of digital pedagogies will be helpful to lead India from a developing country to a developed country. Thank you, Vanilla. Any queries? Thank you.